கோவையில் வேளாண் பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் தேசிய அளவிலான வேளாண் பொருளாதார சங்கத்தின் 80வது ஆண்டு கருத்தரங்கம் நடைபெற்றது. வேளாண் மற்றும் ஊரக மேம்பாட்டு ஆய்வு மையம் நடத்தும் இந்த கருத்தரங்கில் நபார்டு வங்கி தலைவர் ஜி.ஆர். சிந்தாலா கலந்து கொண்டு சிறப்புரையாற்றினார். அதனைத் தொடர்ந்து செய்தியாளர்களிடம் பேசிய அவர், இந்த கருத்தரங்கில் பல்வேறு பிரச்சனை குறித்து பேசப்பட்டது என்று தெரிவித்தார். கொரோனா காலத்திலிருந்து மீண்டு வரும் இந்நிலையில் நபார்டு வங்கி மற்றும் அரசு என்னென்ன மாதிரியான நடவடிக்கைகள் எடுக்க வேண்டும் என்று பேசப்பட உள்ளது என்று தெரிவித்தார். கொரோனா காலத்தில் இந்தியா உள்பட பல நாடுகளின் ஜிடிபி குறைந்தது. இப்படியான சூழ்நிலையில் விவசாயம் சிறப்பாக இருந்தது. மக்கள் அனைவருக்கும் உணவுப் பொருட்கள், மளிகை பொருட்கள் சென்று சேர்ந்தன. இதன் பெருமை விவசாயிகளையே சேரும் என்றார். விவசாயத்தில் 2020-21 ஆண்டிற்கு 15 லட்சம் கோடி இலக்கு நிர்ணயிக்கப்பட்ட நிலையில் இன்னும் ஒரு மாத காலம் இருக்கின்ற நிலையில் 12 லட்சம் கோடி தற்போது வரை ஈட்டப்பட்டுள்ளது என்று தெரிவித்தார். மேலும் 2021-22 ஆண்டிற்கு 16.5 லட்சம் கோடி நிர்ணயம் செய்யப்பட்டுள்ளது என்று தெரிவித்தார்.
I came here as a keynote speaker for the 80th conference of Indian Society of Agricultural Economists. Quite a lot of issues are going to be discussed in this conference, and I just want to give you the brief as to what are the measures that have been taken by government and also institutions like NABARD to come out of this pandemic crisis. COVID pandemic had created havoc with regard to GDP, not only here and in many countries, and many of the economies have gone down the drain as most of the countries were in the lockdown condition. However, during this period, the agriculture had done so well. Not only agriculture, then in the supply chain was never broken. All the people during this pandemic period were supplied the essential food items and the grocery items, and the farmers were relentlessly working. Now the result of it can be seen that agriculture is growing at positive 4%, while the Indian economy is growing at maybe minus 23% to minus 7%, depending on each quarter. So what are the measures that have been taken by the government and what we have done? We have seen that this agricultural sector needs to be given its push with regard to three things. One is with regard to the credit, second is with regard to collectivization of the farmers, and the third is with regard to the infrastructure. So with regard to the credit, this year target, that is 2020-21 target, only another 1 month is there. The target is 15 lakh crores for that agriculture. Now already close to around 12 lakh crores have been disbursed. And also this year, for the year coming, that is 2021-22, Government of India has pushed a target of 16.5 lakh crores, taking into account the credit needs of the farmers. Then the next thing that had happened is with regard to how the farmers can be helped when their lands are getting fragmented. Now you know that in the country we have more than 86% of the farmers are the small and marginal cultivators who are having an acre or less than that. Now these people cannot do a big kind of investments in their fields and also cannot negotiate the terms with the trader. That is why the farmer producers organizations as a collectivization efforts has come into being. NABARD had experimented with these FPOs for the past 8-9 years, and so far we have close to around 4,600 FPOs which have done very well in bringing that kind of a collectivization benefits. So now I was telling the audience that in many of the cases the benefits ranging from 20% to 40% has been delivered if the farmers have come into the FPOs. And so based on that kind of a success, Government of India now has announced 10,000 FPOs in the next 4 years, and these 10,000 FPOs are being rolled out, and the first year FPOs are going to come out of this 10,000 maybe in another 1 or 2 months, and the next 3 years also we will do it. However, looking into the number of farmers we have close to around 14 crore farmers in the country, and so the requirement of FPOs will be more than 1 lakh plus. So that is why this 10,000 numbers is a very small number to start with, and maybe in the days to come it is going to be a very big kind of a thing that entire Indian agriculture is gravitated to is gravitated towards the collectivization, and the benefits of this collectivization are, first thing is they are getting substantial reduction in the cost of inputs, and they are getting higher price realization. The FPOs are doing the value addition, and they are giving a lot of other services, and the credit is being provided to the FPOs as at an affordable rate by banks, and also it has been taken into the priority sector lending also, PSL. So now, by doing all these things, the farmers are going to get the benefit. Apart from that, they are going to get that common hiring centers benefits also, so that their cost of cultivation also will come down. So this is one area which now not only Government of India, NABARD and everybody is pushing, and we are requesting the agriculture universities also to take part in this kind of an FPO proliferation and give them the needed push and the assistance to see this one. Then the next item is regarding the maybe the cooperatives. You know that we have rural cooperatives all over the Tamil Nadu also, they are there. Now the primary societies have to be rejuvenated. So for that we have a scheme, primary agricultural societies to the multi-service societies. So a big amount of concessional finance, which is just 1%, even if they take loan, is being given. And also a new guarantee fund is being created. Already NABARD has instituted it, so that up to 85% of that loan taken by the under the Agri Infrastructure Fund can be guaranteed. So now that also is being done. So now quite a lot of things are happening under this Atmanirbhar. Then the next one is with regard to creation of infrastructure. Now, you might have heard the budget that Government of India has increased the RIDF allocation from 30,000 to 40,000 crores. But I will say that now so much of a demand is coming from various states. Take the case of Tamil Nadu. In the last 8 months, Tamil Nadu has maybe got sanctions to the tune of around 6,000 crores from NABARD under the NABARD infrastructure development assistance, apart from getting maybe 2,000 to 2,300 crores under the RIDF assistance. So now every state government, including Tamil Nadu, they are doing quite a lot of investment in infrastructure, so that the more infrastructure you create, the much better benefits you will get over a period of time, and also you will bring more number of people out of poverty. So that is why the years to come are going to be the creation of infrastructure is going to be the major kind of an initiative, not only the governments but every institution also. And also that everybody is trying to push that agriculture to the next level by going for exports. So now what are the issues with the exports? Many of the things have been identified. So now a kind of a mechanism is being worked out as to how to push exports from this $30 billion to $60 to $100 billion in the next 5 years. So now all those things are also being discussed now here. So I wish that this seminar conference, which is maybe there in the next 3 days, that is the today, tomorrow and day after, is going to discuss quite a lot of maybe issues connected to this agriculture and how to make it very competitive, how to make it sustainable, profitable to the farmers. And I am very thankful that TNAU is hosting it, and so many people, both in the physical and digital form, are attending this one, which is a great success during this pandemic period. Thank you.
If not, should they come? Because once you have insurance cover, there is no question of waiver involved, because the insurance takes care of it. So would you please enlighten us on that?
No, but I am not aware that commercial banks agricultural loans have any kind of insurance cover. Only there is a
Because the bank automatically credit the insurance.
No, that is the DACGC cover. There are two issues with regard to the bank. One is the deposit insurance and credit guarantee cover. That is up to 5 lakh of rupees, whatever the deposit you keep in the bank, it is insured by this DACGC cover, so that even in case of eventuality that something happens to the bank, Deposits are paid minimum 5 lakh rupees and over and above actually over a period of time it will be so. Now in case of agri loans there is absolutely no insurance. In case of MSMEs and there is a CGTMS of the credit guarantee was there. Agriculture there is absolutely nothing. First time for the agriculture the credit guarantee fund is being instituted by NABARD for giving the credit guarantee to the FPOs. First time, actually now we have just started or maybe registered that organization called NAB Samarakshan Trustee Private Limited, where for the FPO financing up to 2 lakh crores, we will give credit guarantee up to 75%, and up to 1 crore it is 85%. Now what you are telling is right. Suppose if the funding is done to the FPO up to an amount of 2 crores or 1 crore, that amount is guaranteed, and in case of maybe anything happens also, the banks may not be grievously affected. But right now there is no kind of insurance for any kind of a crop loan. Absolutely nothing. There is a Fasal Bima Yojana is there for the farmer, and in case if that, no, that's why in case if that amount comes back, then it will be good. Now Fasal Bima Yojana is there even for the cooperatives also. This is for the, it is sector, it is the farmer agnostic. Anybody can become the Fasal Bima Yojana beneficiary. So that is a maybe against the calamity, it is not against the waiver. You just look in the PMFBS scheme, when a loan waiver is given, the Fasal Bima Yojana is not implemented. When only the calamity happens, the Fasal Bima Yojana will come into operation.
Yeah, so once the calamity, I am an individual farmer, I take a loan, then the Fasal Bima insurance cover comes into play automatically or whatever. Then I get back the insurance cover which helps me pay the period of the loan.
Yeah, that is true. Now.
So in that case, the loan waiver doesn't come into play at all. So
Yeah. No, that is true. Now, there are two things. One is Fasal Bima Yojana against the calamity. Whatever happens, the Bima Yojana company will credit to the account and the farmer in turn will get the relief. And if the same account was given the loan waiver, if you look into it, probably that the waived amount may be less. In the normal course, suppose if the farmer is having 10,000 rupees as an outstanding and nothing had happened, so Fasal Bima Yojana cover will not come. So the entire 10,000 has to be given waiver by the state government. Suppose in the same year, now this year at least I don't think that Tamil Nadu during this year any kind of a calamity had happened with regard to general. So now, so in that way, this whatever the waiver they are giving is generally all the people who are there within the cooperative fold, I think they are giving. So that is the there a party or a political decision where nobody to comment.
It is not compulsory, sir. For all the loans to
No, Fasal Bima Yojana is not compulsory, but at the same time many people are taking it. That is the thing. It is. Yeah.
what happens in reality?
Now farmers are aware, and if they don't want, they do not opt for insurance.
But insurance leads to loss to the farmers because if one farmer grows a tomato, another farmer they follow it. So it is a mistake. Any sowing pattern.
Storage, cold storage.
There are now, it's a very good question because for quite some time, many of the economists or maybe many of the planners also suggested there should be a kind of a crop zoning. Now, one attempt, maybe first time I think with the government patronage, one attempt was made in Telangana last year. They say that they made the entire computation as to really what is the requirement of each commodity in that state. Suppose if the state is now, Tamil Nadu is having 8 crores population. If 8 crore people takes daily this much of a rice, this much of a urad dal, this much of a maybe tomato, this much of imli, now you know really what is the requirement. Now, if you can compute actually this much is the requirement, sometimes if you look into our entire production statistics, India as a whole, I think we consume not more than 200 million tons of wheat and rice, but we produce 300 million tons. So now that is where now that zoning is required. Now the same thing with regard to vegetables also. Vegetables, one thing problem is their perishability, and the second thing is the peer effect. Now that one season, one farmer might have got 8 lakh rupees per acre. The next year the whole area will be tomato, and then everybody will get only 20,000 rupees per acre. So now this kind of a thing, but at the same time, no, though many people say that no, people should restrict, but at the same time, in the independent India, the farmer has got a lot of freedom. he can grow what he wants, and he need not hear to anyone. So now he will grow, now as you are telling, now because if the neighbor grows tomato, the next one also grows tomato. Now all of them, that is how the entire, these commodities, how that things will happen. 1 year it will be a fantastic return. Next year or 2 years it will be so low because the whole area might have come under chili, maybe come under tomato, may come under this thing. So that is where the crop zoning is required, but at the same time, zoning cannot be maybe thrust upon unless it should be a people-based exercise. Now there should be a kind of a lot of political thing has to be, groundswell has to be created, whether farmers need to adhere to such kind of a thing, so that everybody will get the benefit. Definitely, by doing the zoning, everybody will get the benefit, but at the same time, whether the farmers will listen, and this is something which one has to be debatable.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is your reaction about this farm law, three farm laws that have been passed in the parliament? I know protest is going on in March 9.
No comments.
What's your
Now, since it is matter is sub judice, so let us not answer.
Okay.
Huh?
Thank you. So,
Regional rural banks. We don't infuse any capital. No, we don't infuse any capital. But in case of regional rural banks, now that some capital is going to be infused shortly. So that is maybe some amount, because in the budget also some 1500 crores or so they have put that. So that will come. But otherwise, no exclusive thing has been done with regard to capital infusion right now. But the one probably which you are talking about is the capital infusion of the banks as a whole, which is the Government of India's thing. So NABARD has got very little role in that.
See, now is the season for agriculture loan waiver. So how will it impact
Loan waiver per se is not bad, though it's a political decision. We are nobody to comment upon it. So long as the governments pay the amount which they are waiving, banks may not be having maybe much of an issue, because their books are being cleaned at one go, because most of the farmers who are not able to pay, their loans are being waived. Now, particularly in cooperatives only they are doing it. So now all those ineligible farmers can straight away become eligible again for the next year. So in that way, in one way, loan waiver is good for cleaning at the individual level and making him eligible. But at the industry level or maybe at the mega level, loan waivers are not a very great kind of a thing, because it will vitiate the atmosphere. Now those who paid earlier, and they also feel that next time they should not pay, so that's why this will spoil the credit culture. Though actually RBI, NABARD and everybody says that actually loan waiver should not be there, but at the same time, having gone through some of the studies, whether really loan waivers are good or bad, the opinion is mixed. Many people say that it will vitiate the climate or the credit culture, but at the same time, for those who became ineligible due to some kind of extraneous reasons, earlier they must have been affected by a calamity or anything, they are not able to repay, and bank was not giving any money to them. If the loans are waived, probably they will become eligible for the institutional credit, which is much, much cheaper. Today, the same person who is ineligible from the institution, if he is borrowing from the money lender, he is paying 3 rupees, that is the 36% interest. While if the person becomes eligible, probably he may be getting at 0% in many of the states. So now, that is why in sometimes the loan waiver, if it is properly implemented by the state government, by transferring the money in time, it may help maybe some of those farmers who are otherwise have gone out of this kind of a credit net because of some extraneous reasons.
So a follow-up question to that on agricultural loans. We know that
Yeah. FPOs are a real great vehicle and a tool. Now, we already experimented for the past 8 years with so many FPOs, almost around 4,800 FPOs we are having. We have seen that how the FPOs could eliminate the entire middleman as a chain, and entire valuation money has come. Now, because I don't want to give the names, otherwise you can see, go to Virudnagar, Erode and many other places, where The FPOs started with around 2,000 to 5,000 members. Also they are having some of them. Now they are going into the entire agricultural input procurement because the dealer commission, whatever they are getting, the companies are giving to the FPO. So around 20 to 30% saving is coming. Then subsequently they are procuring the produce at a little higher level on their own and they are processing also. So now that once they are processing, they are maybe doing the value addition straight away there itself and they are supplying to big companies like Amazon, Walmart, maybe everybody thinks. So the same 36 rupees black gram is now after converting into the dal, it is going to be sold at 100 rupees also. So now that entire amount is coming to the FPO. So FPOs are creating quite a lot of a benefit to the farmer and this money is being given to them also by way of dividend. And also one more thing that happened that FPOs were done, whatever be that waste that is coming, that husk is being converted into the cattle feed and that cattle feed again is being sold to the farmers at a concessional rate. And also I have seen in one FPO here, they have started that idli batter. Normal ID batter is 70 rupees per kilo. This idli, their batter is just 15 rupees a kilo. And they are making money also on this one, but at the same time, most of the people around are getting enormous benefit. So that is why FPOs are now, everywhere I can say that FPOs are going to be the new paradigm in the Indian agriculture. And it's going to create quite a lot of a benefit to the farmer, both by way of saving the cost of inputs, by way of ensuring higher returns on the output which they are selling.
So, in your speech upstairs, you were speaking about the computerization of
Packs.
You said the computerization has reached to the part of the district central cooperative bank and then they're trying to push it down to tax. And you also spoke about 150 crore year. So how many societies in Tamil Nadu will benefit and then what is the allotment for Tamil Nadu?
So, yeah, all our packs, packs, primary agricultural cooperatives are going to be covered.
Tamil Nadu.
Around 3,000 and odd.
3,000 packs.
Yeah, packs. They are going to be covered under packs computerization. At the state level, the service vendor is being identified. Once the service vendor is identified, the entire process will be commencing. Once they start, NABARD will provide a support of 5 crore for this purpose.
No, you are talking about 40% of the farmers are not interested to do farming in India.
Yeah.
What could be the reason for that?
Now, one is, no, there are too many reasons. Now, one is that farming is unremunerative. This is what the common say. The holding sizes have come so low, the farmers. And second thing, the third important thing is the aspiration level. Now, many of the kids in the rural areas also, they don't want to do this one. They also want to live the same life as what the urban counterparts. So now, when all these things are taken into account, if you look into that NAFI study, that NABARD Financial Inclusion Survey study, a farmer with maybe 1 acre, different states, maybe on an average, he earns close to around 8,000 rupees per month. That is the maximum. While maybe some employee, even in the class 4 employee also may be getting around 20,000-30,000 rupees a month, in case if he can get into it. So that comparison also works. So that is why now, at one point of time when the survey was conducted, many of the farmers say they don't want to be in farming because of all these uncertainties. Otherwise, people have to do something. I am not saying that people will not do. But if you have some kind of an opportunity, people want to migrate out of it.